Did Prince Harry and Meghan Markle really get into a car chase? What is Travis Scott's reaction to Kylie Jenner dating Timothee Chalamet? And why was Brie Larson getting uncomfortable when she was asked about Johnny Depp? Stick with me guys, I'm gonna answer all the questions in this video. First up, it was reported that Harry, Meghan, and her mother Doria were involved in a near catastrophic car chase after being followed by paparazzi. The chase allegedly took place after Meghan and Harry had attended an awards ceremony in New York. Their spokesperson released a statement saying, "Last night, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Miss Raglan were involved in a near catastrophic car chase at the hands of a ring of highly aggressive paparazzi. This relentless pursuit lasted over 2 hours, and it resulted in multiple near collisions involving other drivers on the road, pedestrians, and 2 police officers. While being a public figure comes with a level of interest from the public, it should never come at the cost of anyone's safety." They finished off the statement by saying that the dissemination of these pictures, given the way they were obtained, encourages a highly intrusive practice that is dangerous to all involved. This shocking news comes after Harry and Meghan were attending the Ms. Foundation for Women's 2023 Women of Vision Awards. It was the couple's first public appearance since the coronation of King Charles. In her speech, Meghan encouraged women to fight for equity as she accepted the award. Of course, there is bound to be a heightened level of attention when royals are out at public events, but in this case, Meghan and Harry were said to have exited and entered the venue publicly, and then paparazzi got their pictures. There are fears that the chase could have been fatal. Apparently, it involved half a dozen blacked out vehicles with unidentified people driving recklessly around them. They were putting themselves and everyone else in danger. The paparazzi were said to be driving on the sidewalk, running red lights, reversing down a one-way street, driving while on the phone, and driving while taking pictures. Some of them even illegally blocked a moving vehicle. Apparently, the people involved were confronted by uniformed police multiple times, and they still sped off to continue pursuing Meghan and Harry. The family was staying at a private residence at the time, and they didn't want to compromise the security of their friend's house, so they were desperately trying to lose them in the chase before they could go back home. A source told Page 6 that the incident narrowly avoided turning into a fatal disaster when one camera person hit a car, while another one almost ran over a police officer. Quote, "It started off with 12 paparazzi, then ended up with 4 chasing Meghan, Harry, and Doria. Everyone is still upset, to say the least. It was horrific." This news is particularly shocking given that Harry's mother, Princess Diana, died in a car crash in 1997. As we know, it was speculated at the time that the crash was a result of a chase by paparazzi. Over the years, she was a topic of fascination and scrutiny for the British tabloids, and sadly, she was still being hounded by paparazzi in the moments before her death. In March of 2020, Harry and Meghan stepped away from their royal roles and moved to the US, all in an effort to avoid media harassment, but the public interest in them only seemed to heighten. That October, a US news agency sent drones over to their property, all to try and capture pictures of their son Archie. The couple then launched legal action against the agency, claiming that someone had been taking intrusive and illegal pictures of their son, who was only 14 months old at the time. They eventually received an apology, but they were still forced to build a fence around their home to try and prevent that kind of thing from happening again. It might have also had something to do with the fact that their security team was taken away when they left the UK. This became a major issue when Harry went back home for the King's coronation, because the British government did not allow him to pay for his own police protection. They claimed that wealthy individuals should not be able to buy specially trained officers as private bodyguards. Harry offered to pay for the protection himself, which authorities refused. So he's now seeking a review of that decision and claiming that it was unlawful. Meanwhile, he's also involved in a separate lawsuit in another high court room where he is suing Mirror Group newspapers over allegations of phone hacking. He's also currently suing the publisher of the Mail for libel over an article that claimed he offered to pay for police protection after the start of his legal case against the British government. So Harry's got a ton of legal battles going on at the moment. Alright, now Travis Scott has just reacted to Kylie Jenner's relationship with Timothee Chalamet, and as you can probably guess, he's not too happy about it. A source spoke to Entertainment Tonight and said Travis is not thrilled about Kylie moving on, but they are still cordial and focused on co-parenting and being the best parents they can be. He really makes Kylie and his family a top priority and is always going above and beyond as a dad. So it sounds like Travis is not too impressed with her new relationship, but instead he's going to try and stay focused on the kids. Fans completely lost it last month when Kylie and Timothee were confirmed to be dating. At the time, a source spoke to ET and insisted that the two of them are together, but they want to keep things private for the time being. They said Kylie and Timothee are casually seeing each other, but are trying to keep it low-key. They are becoming more comfortable with each other. Kylie wants to take things day by day and see where it goes. Her family thinks it's great that she's doing her thing and they are supportive. They went on to say, Timothee loves that Kylie is such a hands-on mom and a boss. He appreciates her confidence and thinks she's incredibly beautiful. Well, neither of them have said anything about their relationship themselves or shared hints on social media, but it's been said that they met through Kylie's older sister Kendall. Last month, both of them were at Coachella, but they still managed to stay under the radar. At the time, it was said that they weren't ready to make things public just yet because Kylie really just wanted to chill and have fun with her friends. But even though they haven't gone public, they have certainly left a lot of clues that they are together. A few weeks ago, Kylie's black Range Rover was spotted in the driveway of his home, and a video was taken of them chatting at a fashion show in January. Even back then, they already seemed to be pretty familiar with each other because they were smiling and laughing together for quite a while. When video of them flirting made its way around social media, it seemed like everyone was surprised that they even knew each other. More than anything else, a lot of people just didn't understand what they could possibly have in common. 2 months later, they attended the Vanity Fair Oscars party, but they weren't photographed together, most likely to avoid any more gossip around their love life. And of course, now everyone's talking about it. One person tweeted, "Timothy dating Kylie feels like two timelines colliding because he reminds me of a Renaissance sculpture and she reminds me of a 2016 duck face." Another person wrote, "Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet dating feels the same as when two people from your high school that never interacted start dating like 6 years after graduation." But all jokes aside, there's also another big reason why people are surprised at the new couple. Despite the fact that Timothee has dated a number of high-profile women, questions about his sexuality continue to plague him. This is largely because of his breakout role in Call Me By Your Name, where he played a gay character. His love interest was played by Armie Hammer, who is himself another straight actor. The movie was a critical success and a box office hit, although it did receive a bit of criticism for casting two seemingly straight actors in queer roles. Even though his performance was an absolute knockout, unfortunately, these rumors bled into his love life as well. Timothee dated Lily Rose Depp from 2018 to 2020, but it wasn't all smooth sailing. One particular makeout session was caught by paparazzi in Italy, and people's reaction to it really affected the way he felt about their relationship. Fans made fun of his appearance and wrote horrible things about him, accusing their whole relationship of being a PR stunt. So realistically, Timothee just hasn't been able to catch a break no matter who he's dating. As for Kylie, her love life has been nothing but Travis Scott since they got together in 2017. They have 2 kids together, their daughter Stormy and their son Air. They broke up for the second time this past December, just 2 years after they got back together during the pandemic. At the time, a source told Us Weekly, Kylie and Travis are off again on again. They were supposed to spend the holidays together, but she ended up going to Aspen for the new year to join her sister Kendall, along with a few close friends, like Hailey and Justin Bieber. They've had a rocky relationship for quite some time, but they've since insisted that they will always remain friends and co-parents. For a while, it seemed like they were going to get back together. Travis recently left a sweet comment under one of her Instagram photos and called her beautiful. Fans thought this was pretty interesting given that he rarely comments on her photos, but it was probably just wishful thinking on his part, because right now things with Timothee are well and truly on. Moving on, did you hear that awkward question Brie Larson just got asked about Johnny Depp? She was left completely stunned after she got singled out by a member of the press. They wanted to hear her thoughts on Johnny Depp's controversial film opening at the Cannes Film Festival. During a Tuesday press conference, the actress was asked how she felt about his film Jean du Barry and whether or not she planned on seeing it. She was clearly taken aback and responded with a lot of confusion. Brie said, "You're asking me that? I'm sorry, I don't understand the correlation or why me specifically." The reporter then brought up the fact that she was a part of the Time's Up movement, so that's why he was asking her. In response, she said, "Understood. Well, see, I guess if I see it, I don't know how I feel about it until I do." Even though that moment was incredibly uncomfortable to watch, Brie was commended for her excellent response to such a contentious question. In fact, some people even suggested that the journalist was being unprofessional for even asking her something like that, because it just sounds like a question that was intended to set her up to twist her words, which is what you would call a gotcha question. One person tweeted, "Brie Larson was a victim of one of the most degenerate and violent misogynistic hate campaigns on the internet, and I cannot blame her for not wanting to subject herself to that again." Another person wrote, "Brie Larson herself has been and is still a victim of an insane misogynistic campaign, so I actually get why she would choose to be vague and evasive with her answers, because whatever she says, on top of what she already experiences, especially online, she's not going to win." Less than a year has passed since all the gritty details of Johnny Depp's relationship with Amber Heard was aired in open court. The 6-week trial became a cultural phenomenon that many people felt was a kind of pushback to the Me Too movement, so the decision to invite him to the festival was no doubt controversial, and it even led to the hashtag #CansYouNot trending on social media. At a news conference on Wednesday, Depp addressed the idea that some people think he shouldn't have been there. In response, he said, "What if one day they did not allow me, under no circumstances, no matter what, I cannot go to McDonald's for life? because somewhere if you got all of them in one room, there would be 39 angry people watching me eat a Big Mac on a loop just for fun. Who are they? Why do they care? At another point, he claimed that he doesn't feel boycotted by Hollywood because he doesn't think about Hollywood or need it. His film Jean du Barry marks his first return to the big screen since the defamation trial last year. Depp arrived at the festival to a very warm reception with smiles and cheers from the crowd. He signed autographs and took selfies with fans before the premiere. Along with Meghan, the two of them entered the theater hand in hand and they received a standing ovation. At one point, Depp winked at the cameraman who zoomed in on his face, and the crowd responded with even more cheers. Although his presence at the festival was celebrated, the actual movie itself received a lukewarm review. Variety's Peter DeBruge said, Depp delivers his lines in well-turned French, wearing fine powder and a stiff white wig, yet seems so strangely uncomfortable in the role, adequate but not especially engaged. He felt there was a distinct lack of chemistry between the two leads. Rafaela Sales-Ross from The Playlist described Depp as very American and very misplaced in the film, where his French accent is almost as distracting as his distorted makeup. So would you still watch the movie just to see Johnny Depp back in action, or would you rather skip this one and wait for his next project?